Hey there YouTube, Chris with Up North Air Gunner. Today I am going to be doing a little bit of a video here to answer a little bit of a dust up that I had at our local sporting goods store the other day. I was back actually looking at some archery equipment for the upcoming archery season and got these really awesome toxic broadheads. You're wondering why am I introducing this type of equipment into things? The dust up I got into was a gentleman who was standing at the counter. He bought the exact same crossbow I had, exact same arrows, exact same broadheads. And then in the conversation I mentioned to him, I was like, yeah, you know, the gun season's coming up, and you know, I'm an air rifle hunter and I'm pretty excited about getting out there with my air rifle. And the dude basically said, in not so many words, that I was unethical, there's no way that it could take down a deer, and crossbows are so much more powerful. And so basically what I want to do today is kind of put that argument to rest. I mean, a lot of you that are in the air rifle, big bore, air gunning world know that's absolutely not the case. But I want to do a little bit of scientific evidence here. And today what I'm going to be doing is comparing the size of a broadhead as compared to a mushroomed hollow point from a big bore air rifle. Furthermore, I want to compare the foot-pounds of energy that is compared between a crossbow and a big bore air rifle. So I need to get a mushroomed hollow point, so we're going to do that by hopefully extracting them from inside of one of these watermelons after it goes through. So let's see what we can do. Nice, okay. So let's see that in slow motion. So I would say that was effective, but the only problem is I thought I was only going to go through 3 and it went all the way out the back end. We need to add maybe 2 more watermelons, and I'm going to add a little bit of a backstop. What's kind of cool about this, I wasn't really intending to do this, but how much energy was transferred. Massive expansion on impact within, let's say, the first probably 3 or 4 or 5 inches there. So let's add another watermelon or 2 and see if we can catch one of these bullets. Okay, we need to see that in slow motion. Oh, whoa. So, for the record, that was a fresh watermelon I had added to the front. No question there. So that's pretty massive. I'd call that about inch and a half wound channel. So let's see where we can find that. I don't think it's in either one of these. So I think it's in this one. It didn't exit. Yep, here it is. Oh my gosh, look at that. That's pretty awesome. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty devastating, the way that opens up like that. So what I want to do here, actually, I'm going to open up one of these broadheads, and I want to compare the size of the broadhead with the expansion of that hollow point, and do a kind of a little bit of a comparison. So there is the wound cavity, I guess you would say, the watermelon wound cavity from the Aeromagnum 128 grain hollow point round, and this is the toxic broadhead for my crossbow. So just for reference, I'm just going to slide this in here, and really, when you look at this, I mean, it's not even touching. I mean, it's probably twice the diameter. I don't know if you can see that in there. Can you see that? I'd say it's about twice the diameter of the actual broadhead from the wound cavity here. So I mean, that's pretty darn impressive. And we're going to look at some data here to compare the two. But I mean, I was very surprised. I mean, that hole, I mean, geez, God, what is that? I mean, it's got to be about 1.5 inch hole through that watermelon. So the actual hollow point, yeah, it might have, you know, expanded to about, you know, 2/3 of the size of this broadhead, but the actual wound channel and the amount of energy being transferred into the watermelon is just enormous. So yeah, so let's take a look at some data. So as we saw in this video, the watermelon wound channel was quite large. You could actually stick that entire crossbow arrow with a 7/8 inch broadhead. Basically, the wound channel was twice the diameter, roughly. So we can see visually, as far as the physical damage that would be caused from a big bore air rifle bullet is quite significant. But let's take a look at the actual energy that's produced by the crossbow arrow. So per the manufacturer specs, the Barnett Headhunter 20-inch arrows are the arrow itself plus the broadhead, the 100 grain toxic broadhead equals 376 grains. And I've actually tested the speed of these a few times, and it comes up between 318 to 325 feet per second. So let's call it 320 feet per second. So when you run that through our ballistics calculator, that gives us 85.48 foot-pounds of energy. So let's take a quick chance to compare that to the air rifle. So we take a look at the Aeromagnum 128 grain Devastators, which I was shooting from my Airforce Texan 357. Basically, if you take that 128 grain bullet weight and the bullet speed of 950 feet per second, and again, this rifle has been shooting between 940 to 960, depending on where I'm at with my shot string, or if I'm tethered to the bottle, let's just call it 950. So it gives us 256.46 foot-pounds of energy. So really, it's 3 times the amount of energy with the air rifle versus the crossbow. So that gentleman that was in the store basically saying crossbows were more powerful, he really needs to watch this video. So there you have it. There's the data. There are the visuals. There's the video. The video doesn't lie. The foot-pounds of energy is just absolutely massive. And if you are a bow hunter, or if you shoot and if you hunt with crossbows, you should absolutely have no problem whatsoever talking to an air gunner about the ethicalness and the lethality of the rifles that we use. So quite honestly, there's no comparison. Are they as powerful as a powder burner, as a 308, rifle, firearm? Absolutely not. But if we're hunting with these weapons with the same amount of skill and accuracy and responsibility as archers do, making sure we're not taking shots that are over, in my opinion, 100 yards max, then there's absolutely no problem with these. And the data and these visuals speak for themselves. So anyway, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I would love to have that conversation with you. And to the guy that was at the sporting goods store, I hope you see this. So anyway, Up North Air Gunner out. Thanks.